our today's session ME8093 Computational Fluid Dynamics. So today we are going to see about momentum equation. So in our previous classes we have completed three topics. So first one will be basics of computational fluid dynamics and governing equations of fluid dynamics, and next one will be continuity equations. So those three topics we have completed. So today we are going to focus on momentum equation. In our first unit, the important derivation will be continuity, momentum and energy equations. So we can't to take all the derivations in a single class. It will totally leads to confuse. So that only I am splitting continuity equation in a single class, momentum equation in a single class, energy equations in a single class. So we are entered into our today topic, that is momentum equation. So in our momentum equation we are start with the Newton's second law. So all of you need to understand which derivation we need to start and which is the starting point. So then only we can easily solve the derivation. So today we are focused on momentum equation. So you need to remember that we are going to derive the derivation based on Newton's second law. So according to Newton's second law, so the rate of change of increase in momentum in a fluid particle, that is equivalent to sum of the forces on a fluid particle. So how much momentum value, that is force multiplied with the distance, it leads to take our rotation. So that type of momentum, how it will increase. So it will be equivalent to the sum of the forces we are applied to the fluid particle. How much quantity of force we are applied, based on the force only it will start to change the path. So this is the first assumption according to Newton's second law. So next we are going to derive the equation for a first part, that is rate of change of increase in momentum. So we are going to consider for x-axis, y-axis and z-axis. So based on the volume we can easily simplify the momentum value. For x-axis will be rho du divided by dt. Rho will be a density, u will be a velocity. So d indicates the convection factor, so it leads to momentum values. So rho du divided by dt. So this is the momentum value increased in x-axis. And next for the y-axis, so rho dv divided by dt. So we need to replace velocity coefficients only. For x-axis we need to use u, and a y-axis we need to use v. For a z-axis we need to use a w. So for a y-axis, so the answer is rho dv divided by dt. For a z-axis, rho dw divided by dt. So this is the first part of our assumption. So next we need to calculate the force values. So sum of all the forces, that's equal to previous one, that is momentum value. So we need to list out what are all the forces act on our fluid particle. So in our fluid particle we have two types of forces. So first one will be a surface force and second one will be a body force. In the surface we can classify based on the pressure values. So how much pressures we are applied for a surface. And next one, viscous forces, that is a resistance to the flow. So these two flow under the category of surface forces. And next one will be a body force. So we need to apply all the force into a whole body of a fluid particle. So first one will be a 9.81, that is a gravitational force we are applied. And next one, centrifugal force. So then when we start to rotate about axis. And next one will be a Coriolis force, and next one will be a electromagnetic force. So next step we need to give the notation for all the stresses then only we need to equate the equation, sorry, in the left hand side 1, that is momentum, we need to equate 1. So then only the derivations will be complete.